Namaste, ladies and gentlemen. In my previous video, I was talking about the very aspects of the Nada Bindu Kala, Nada Bindu, K-A, K-A-L-A, K-A-A-L. Now this Kala, just have one small difference which I was explaining. It's all about like KALA talks about the time and space travel that you do. KAALA is something wherein, it more or less talks about the human existence, male and females kind of. Okay, that's okay. Though in this video, furthermore, we will go. Let us take the subject much further in cross reference to the Triswaras, Chaturaswaras, Panchamaswaras, and Shashtamaswara. To give a brief introduction about Triswaras, it has Udatta, Anudatta, Swarita. Udatta again is a normal or medium kind of. Anudatta is lower or unraised notes. Swarita again is like slightly raised pitch in the higher note. Chatwari Swara, if we really see, it starts with Rishabham, Gandharam, Taipatam, and Nishapam. Panchamaswara, on the other hand, starts with Shadjanam, Rishabham, Gandharam, Nishadam, Anuta. Now, Shashtamaswara, if we really look at, okay, on contrary, it's totally different. It starts with Nishadam, Gandharam, Rishabham, Shadjanam, Tartam, and Anuda. Now, whole of this, whole of this Swaras concept is all about Unnati and Aunati aspect. Unnati is something wherein, a body develops. Okay. Aunati becomes like, benefactor for one's growth. So this is the typical nature of Saptaswaras, ladies and gentlemen, which one needs to really understand. However, though here if we see Saptama, Ashtama, Nauma, Dashama, Ekadashama, Dwadashama, these Swarasthanas are the highest level, wherein, an individual goes to the highest level. This is what one needs to understand. And it is not so easy to get to that Saptamaswara, Ashtamaswara, Navamaswara, Dashamaswara, Ekadashamaswara, Dwadashamaswara, ladies and gentlemen. The fun part over here is, I wouldn't say fun part, but the catch of the subject is one needs to really get to the aspect of understanding Ekadasha Rudra or Navavarna. The point is, this Navavarna or Ekadasha Rudra is all about this human existence, time travel, ladies and gentlemen, which one needs to understand. Why this time and space travel is important? And I will be explaining during the time and space travel what are the kinds of, you know, colors or changes that you see in the multiverse. In cross reference to Akhila Anda Koti Brahma Anda Naika and Nayaka. Nakara, Ikara, Yakara, Kakara, Akara. Nakara, Yakara, Akara. Akara and Ikara, only two differences. That's it. Now, one needs to understand that these swarasthanas are referred to the very aspect of understanding of Shiva Tattva. Shiva Tattva or Shiva's incarnation or Purusha's incarnation and Prakriti's incarnation. Now, if we see this Shiva, if we look at, at the first nine swaras or positioning leads to understanding of Navavarna, ladies and gentlemen. And the last three sthanas leads to the understanding of the very aspect of journey of Mahameru. Mahameru in Srividya Sadhana or Srividya Upasana. And this is what is called actually ultimate blissful state of mind. However, not everyone can get to this level, ladies and gentlemen. It's it requires a lot of penance and lot of practice, which one needs to understand. Here is where that Srividya Sadhana's aspect comes into picture. Though logically or technically, if we see, this is existing in Ekadasha Rudra aspect. So, when you perform Ekadasha Rudra, you chant mantras, right? Out of which Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivartanam Purvarupamiva Bandhanat Mrityormuksheyama Amrutat Asya Shri Shuddha Ekame Ekachame Dvadashchame. Now, if you really clearly look at these 11 stages wherein you repeat the mantras, Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya Yata Utota Ishave Namaha Bahubhyam Mutate Namaha. The starting itself, Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya Yata Utota Ishave Namaha Bahubhyam Mutate Namaha. So, these swaras or these swarasthanas, whatever nine or which I am talking about, these 12th, Ekaswara, Dviswara, Triswara, Chaturaswara, Panchamaswara, Sashtamaswara, Saptamaswara, Ashtamaswara, Navamaswara, Dashamaswara, Ekadashamaswara, Dvadashamaswara. All of these correspond to the very stages of, Ekadasha Rudra. The only difference between Ekadasha Rudra and Dvadasha Rudra is here 12 stages that we are talking about comes into picture. Saptama, Ashtama, Navama, Dashama, Ekadashama, Dwadashama Swara is something not everyone can really get to that, ladies and gentlemen. To get to that, one needs to really start their practice from the strong tha, strong me, strong gana, strong pa, strong da, strong tha, tha, dhani, 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 dha. Thapasani pa, thapasani pa, thapasani pa, thapasani pa, dhanisa, dhanisa. So now this is what is the very understanding one needs to understand. This can be understood by a classical musician. And this is where actually Muthuswami Dikshitar or Muthuswami Dikshitar or Tyagaraja or uh, uh, Tyagaraja legend, these people have understood that. They have produced that sounds. They have shown the variations. It's not that they just got. See, with a sadhana, Ekaswara, Dviswara, Triswara, Chaturaswara, Panchamaswara, Shashtamaswara, everyone can go. But that also requires a lot of practice wherein one needs to do it in a dedicated way. It's not that they just do it for the sake of doing it. Saptama, Ashtama, Navama, Dashama, Ekadashama, Dwadashama swaras. They are the pillars for understanding Sri Vidya as well. Sri Vidya. Understand this. Anima siddhe, lagima siddhe, mahima siddhe, ishitva siddhe, vashitva siddhe. In Devi Khatmala. And if one is able to understand this, that's when he would be able to understand Matrikanyasa's places. When one understands Matrikanyasa's places, that's when he would be able to understand Ekaswara, Dviswara, Triswara, Chaturaswara, Panchamaswara, Shashtamaswara, Saptamaswara, Ashtamaswara, Navamaswara, Dashamaswara, Ekadashamaswara, Dwadashamaswara sthanas. And further proceed ahead. Now, Dikshitar or, if you take Dikshitar or Kanchi Parmacharya, one who used to walk or, these people have gone through all of. However, there will be lot of test for the people who are going beyond the Saptaswaras. So the Saptaswara sthanas, ladies and gentlemen, which one needs to understand. It's a huge challenge. Now, if you see the reference I was giving, right? Trayambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivarthanam urvarukamiva pandanat prutyor mukshir ma prutat. And Sri Mata, Sri Maharagni, Srimad Simhasaneshwari, Chitagni Kunda Sambhuta Daiva Karya Samudhyata Udyat Bhanu Sasrabha Chaturpahu Samanvita रागस्वरूप पाषाढ़ क्रोध परांकुशोज्वला मनोरूपेक्षु कोदंड पंच तन्मात्र सायिका निजारुण प्रभापूर मज्जत ब्रह्मांडल मंडल ब्रह्मांड मंडल चंपकाशोग पुन्नाग सौगंधिक लसत्कच कुरुविंदमणि श्रेणी कनत्कोटीर मंडित अष्टमी चंद्र दलिक स्थल शोभित मुखचंद्र कलंकां मृगनाभि विशेषक वदन स्मर मांगल्य ग्रह तोरण चिल्लिका. Now, if you really see, you are finding to give you an example, shakara, rakara, ikara, makara, akara, takara, akara again, nakara, ga plus na. When it is added na, it becomes na. Ragni, ikara. When ga plus na plus e comes together, that's when you will tend to understand that energy level, ladies and gentlemen. To name a few over here. Trayambakam, 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 Yam, Yakara, Akara, Mukha, Takara, Rakara, Aikara. Yajamahe, Jakarad, Mahe, Hakarad, Ekara. So, the science of sound plays a key role, which we need to understand. Sugandhim, Sugandhim, Su, Sakara, Ukara, Gandhim, Gakara, Akara, Nakara, Hakara, Ikara, Makara. Sugandhim, Pushti, Shakara Derege, Vardhanam, Dhakara Der, Urva, Urva, Akara, Rukamiva, Rukamiva. It is ending with Sakla, Rukamiva, Bandhanat, Takara. Urva, Rukamiva, Bandhanat, Mrityor, Rakara, ending with Rakara. Mukshiya, slow, subtle, Ma Amrita, and again ending with you need to understand with ladies and gentlemen. Now, that is the reason why one needs to go beyond the words and beyond the lines and beyond the alphabets, ladies and gentlemen. That is the primary important factor. The Ekadasha Rudra aspect to be understood, one needs to understand the Dwadasha Swarasthanas of Saptaswarastu. That's a very much important point. If you really want to get that state of mind, unless and until you understand this, you would not be able to. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya Yata Utota Ishave Namaha Bahubhyam Mutate Namaha. And from the very aspect of language inference, okay, this cryptic language, so-called Swara language, developed to the very aspect of Sansara or Adibhuta, Adidaivika or Daivika interpretation of the human existence as a whole. This is the key. This is the crux of the subject. Now, today, modern day people think Sanskrit language is all about like just speaking and all. I would say Sanskrit language is all about like understanding the swarasthanas there. It's swarasthanas and that how you actually enunciate and pronounce it. This is what one needs to understand. And this is where it touches that, common language. This male and female or anu or parmanu or that atom and subatom as per Vedic science at a highest level, samsara is universe. Adi bhuta, bhuta, adi daivika, daivika. This is what actually makes Saptaswara's foundation. Like, one should be making sure that their Saptaswaras, when they are learning music, these sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. Their foundation is strong, and that is a reason why if a pregnant lady hears to the music, those vibrations, if she practices during that period of time, baby in the womb will be getting that extraordinary strength. Likewise, a male counterpart, if he does that sadhana, let it not be for what we call for a professional purposes, but from the viewpoint of getting that positive energy. And this is where actually, like directly or indirectly, these male and female counterparts are getting that Navavarna center. Very significant. So, Nada Bindu Kala, 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 Kala. Now, Kala is something wherein male and female counterpart does the time and space. However, this Nada Bindu Kala and Kala are the foundation stones or the knowledge base, which leads to the very existence of Natya Shastra. Here is where the advent of Natya Shastra started, ladies and gentlemen, which one needs to understand. These emotions, whatever it is, from the intelligence point of view, from the intellect point of view, dharma, artha, kama, moksha aspect also. Now, for the research in the field of fine arts and culture and medical and science, when there is already existing theory or theology behind these shastras told billion years ago, what are the efforts that we are doing to do that restoration, ladies and gentlemen? Parapsychology, psychology, psychosis, psychiatry, psychotic, psychosis, whatever that is existing, right? If we really do this, why do we need to give psychedelics? And again, this gives rise to Tantra, Mantra, and Yantra aspect, ladies and gentlemen. Understand this. This is the starting point to understand. Classical dance form, if you really see those 108 karnas, gives you the clear understanding of the Tantra and Mantra's effect on the body and the yantric effect of the body, ladies and gentlemen. This is what is exhibited during the presentation in Natya Shastra. thus gives rise to the mantra, tantra, and tantra. Though this is very much introduction to various shastras at all levels. Here one needs to understand and get that clear understanding of Shastra by and large. Now, coming to the Shastra's invasion, okay, Shastras are kinds of doctrines or the texts that guide one and all. This is very important point, ladies and gentlemen. And not only these, but at a higher level. And the very study of understanding human consciousness. Now, you may ask, after speaking about the various aspects of Swarasthanas, Ekaswara, Dviswara, Chaturaswara, Panchamaswara, Shashtamaswara, Saptamaswara, Ashtamaswara, Navamaswara, Dashamaswara, Ekadashamaswara, Dvadashamaswara. Having said all of this, how do we understand that Shiva Tattva, which I was telling, right? So, Shiva Tattva is, and Shiva has different forms, ladies and gentlemen, understand. On contrary, if you really see, Shiva or Purusha has various forms. Prakriti has various. Shiva, Adi Shiva, Sada Shiva, Bhautika Shiva, Adi Bhautika Shiva, Adi Daivika Shiva, Nirjiva Shiva, Jiva Shiva, Vyakta Shiva, Avyakta Shiva. Why Shiva has so many, being a Purusha? Okay? And Prakriti, on contrary, or Shakti Swarupa, is only four types, which are Daivika Shakti, Adi Daivika Shakti, Rakshasa Bhava Shakti, Jnana Bhava Shakti. Now, this is the reason why I said if a male starts, okay, tries to understand the science of sound or the vibration part, he acquires that base level study. Difference between Shiva and Adi Shiva is just small. Shiva is the primary level wherein one understands. Adi Shiva is above all of this. Above all of this in the sense like, you know, he or she does not need to get to practice those rituals or whatever it is. Adi Daivika Shiva, Adi Bhautika Shiva, Adi Nirjiva Shiva, Nirjiva Shiva, Jiva Shiva, Vyakta Shiva, Avyakta Shiva is a state of mind where he or she crosses the boundaries of the very aspects of the human existence at the highest level. When I say aspects of the human existence, they go beyond the bhavas and anubhavas, beyond the boundaries of dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. There they would be coming to know what is real and what is wrong. Likewise, when this is done, this Shakti or Prakriti దైవిక శక్తి, ఆది దైవిక శక్తి, రాక్షస భావ శక్తి, జ్ఞాన శక్తి. See, Stree or Prakriti has a very typical nature which more or less talks about the very understanding about this that was very simple. Please do not try to play with the Shakti Tattva at any cost. Try not to misuse those powers, speak with it. Understanding? This is a word of caution for everyone. Try not to contemplate to use it for negative purposes. Today, all of us commit the same mistake. Just because I know there's highest levels for us, I should not be trying to use it for a negative purpose. These mantras or tantras or yantras. And that is the reason why black magic, which is existing and coexisting in north part of India, and specifically in Chotanipera Bhagavati, there I tend to see. So that is the reason why Sthanaswara, Ashtamasthana Navamasthana, Dashamasthana, Ekadashamasthana, Dwadashamasthana. These are the highest one. Not everyone can go to that level. So, see, very few of them could go to that, out of which Muthuswami Dikshitar was one person who could go beyond that point and could handle. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa could handle. Kanchi Paramacharya could handle. Shirdi Sai Baba could handle. To name a few. That is the first part. And now, though one needs to understand how to invoke and understand from the standpoint of Shruti, Laya, Jati, Gati again. The point here is this is more easier for the music practice. But as a word of caution, try not to get to this, Saptama, Ashtama, Navama, Dashama, Ekadashama, Dwadasha Asthana or Swarasthanas. Just try to limit yourself with Shashtama Sthanas because none of us have. Now, to name a few swaras which would be useful for the people, here are this. Ta, na, tha, ma, pa, ni, ga, gha, ta, tha, ana, na. Now, all of these you need to do it at a strong level, 10 times. Strong plus subtler, you need to apply for at a subtle level. Sa, tha, pa, tha, at a lower note. Ga, tha, pa, tha, ni, ra, dha, dha, if you repeat these for 5 times on a day-to-day basis, it will be really helpful for the one to get to that point, ladies and gentlemen. Subtler, set subtler. Ra, ta, na, pa, ma. 5 notes. Okay. Ra, re, sa, ga, re, sa, ga, da, ni, pa, re, ga, ma, re, sa, re, ga, ma, ga, re, sa. Now, if we practice these, what happens is you will get that energy deep within and that controlling capacity. But one needs to practice. Again, coming to the 6 notes, okay, Panchama, Shashtama Swara, Shashtama Swara sthanas, 20 times, okay, da, na, ga, ra, sa, ma, ra, dha, ni, pa, ma, da, tha, pa, dha. So now, if we practice these sounds, it would be really helpful for one to get to understand, ladies and gentlemen. If we carefully decipher and go by the lines in the kritis of Dikshitar or Yama Shastri, okay, you will find this, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, these were indicted and thus the ragas were created. Though here the manifestation is that is how that time and space travel. Okay, he or she does, or his or her in his or her advent is what, and this is again the yoga sadhana, that is sama yoga aspect. This is the real yoga, ladies and gentlemen, which one needs to understand. That deep down, traveling from the viewpoint of yoga drashta, yoga drishya, yoga maya, yoga maha. Ladies. Thus, you know, this is the point where one needs to understand why to use the stress pattern or give that strong effect, ladies and gentlemen. So, if one does these practices, there is nothing like it. Thus, I conclude this video with a positive note. Stay blessed and have a real blissful. Think about it, whatever that I was talking about. If it really makes some sense for the audience and practice, there is nothing like it. But as a word of caution, try not to go with the strong words or misuse whatever power that you get. Stay blessed and have a real blissful life. May the Guru's grace be with one and all. Have a nice day. you.